Hi there, this is Janine over at the district office, and I have put together a short little video. I think I have found a solution for our progress report dilemma, and so I wanted to share it with everybody. And we've actually implemented something very, very similar at Randall, and the Randall teachers are, really happy with what's been done. From the two that I have talked to, they said that this has actually saved them a lot of time, and this is the quickest way they've ever done and finished their progress report. So I wanted to share it with you in hopes of maybe clarifying and just help simplifying the process to see if it's something that will work for Weller. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this, and first we're going to look at how this spreadsheet is set up, and then we're going to look at, well, how do I find my students and enter data for just them, so that I'm not really paying attention to what else we have on the spreadsheet that doesn't apply to me. So while it does look overwhelming at the beginning here, just opening this up, it looks very different than anything we've done as teachers in the past. I do want you to just bear with me, take a look at it, give it a shot with an open mind. It could become something that we all find valuable. So let me just run through this really quick. Let's look at how the spreadsheet is set up first. You're seeing right now that I've got separate tabs. For example, there's a separate spreadsheet for 4th grade, for 5th grade, for 6th grade. So these are actually active buttons along the page, and if I click on them, I'm going to go to that particular grade. Once you click on the grade, you're going to see I have first name, a column for the first name, a column for the student ID. That's just going to help make sure we have the correct student. And then we've got it sorted by last name, so alphabetical order by last name. Again, we're only going to see the 4th graders on this particular spreadsheet. I'm using Randall as the example because they got started a little bit sooner and we've tested a little bit more there, the actual spreadsheet. So I am using theirs as the example. You're going to then see the grade level, again, all 4th grade. Then we've got it starting with the homeroom teacher, and we're going to move all the way down the spreadsheet. One thing I want you to notice, there's a scroll bar at the bottom here. That's going to get us from left to right in the spreadsheet. So as I pull it to the right, what you're seeing is those first 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, A, B, and C, I should say, those are frozen, so they're not going to move. It just makes it a little bit easier so that if I scroll all the way down, we're going to say I'm a math teacher right now. So if I'm the math teacher opening the spreadsheet, not that I don't care about English language arts, but I'm not responsible for that. So I, at this point, don't really care about it. We're going to hide it. I'm just going to pull this over, and I'm only going to look at math. So this is where I'm the math teacher. I want to make sure I can see the math area of the spreadsheet. Again, I'm not even going to be concerned with the purple for science and so forth. So now as I'm looking at this, all I'm simply going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to pre-slug my data for the first trimester. So I'm just going to look at the first student here. So it looks like I'm looking at Benjamin. I'm going to click on the cell next to my name, and I'm just going to put in my initials. That's what we want to put in there. At risk of being retained in math, I'm going to put, no, most of our kids are not at risk. I know that's not everybody, but the majority is not at risk. So we're going to make this a little bit easier on ourselves. We're just going to put no in that for the first one. Number sense, I'm going to say that's usually where math teachers start. So for that first trimester, yeah, we're going to say that most students, again, we're not looking at Ben in particular here. We're kind of setting up a template row for us. Most students are going to be at expected progress. So we're going to go ahead and write that in. Now, the rest of these, I know at least for me in math by first trimester, that's where we really focused, was number sense. We didn't do a lot with this, so I'm not ready to give them a score here. I'm going to put an NA, or a not applicable. Please see the guide for your site so that you can see how you've decided to do it, whether it's full words or abbreviations. So not applicable is going to go in this column. Same is going to go for these other 3. Now I can keep typing over and over and over in all my cells, or I can go back to this cell and I can say Control C, and I click on the cell next to it. I'm going to hold down the Control button, hit the V, and now it's copying it for me. Once I've copied it once, I can actually just Control V again, and it's going to paste it again. It's holding it in the computer's memory. Control V, there we go. So we have got this row done. Okay. Now, I want to take this, highlight it, the whole thing. I'm dragging across. You can see there's a baby blue, light blue kind of ring around this little halo. We're going to copy that whole thing. So Control C. It's now copied. I'm going to simply go down the list, and every time I see my name, that means it's one of my students. I'm going to click on that first cell. All I'm doing is hitting Control V. I'm going to click down to the next cell, Control V. And Control V. I'm doing this all the way down the spreadsheet. Granted, I may have 5th and 6th graders, so I might have to tab over to the 5th and 6th grade column. And I could either, if it's going to be the same as far as, I've taught number sense but nothing else this trimester, I could simply do Control V right into that spreadsheet as well. If that template for 5th grade and 6th grade is going to look a little bit different, maybe I started for whatever reason in geometry with my 6th graders, I could start with geometry and set it up accordingly and then copy and paste. For now we're just going to do the 4th grade though. So Control V all the way down. That's all I'm hitting. Every time I get my name right next to it, I hit that cell, Control V, all the way down. Okay. Essentially, when this is done, I have kind of pre-slugged all of my students in the 4th grade. If it's accurate, meaning none of my students are at risk of being retained in math, and they're all making expected progress in number sense, I would technically be done with my 4th grade math progress reports. We know that's not always the case though, because we definitely have some students that are going to be at risk of being retained or are at an area of concern here for number sense in the first progress report. So I'm going to show you how to quickly do this now. Now I know, for example, I've got a student, a 4th grade student named Jose, and he is at risk of being retained because of his CST scores. He scored a 275. He's definitely below the proficient bar, and so I have to identify him as at risk of being retained. So how do I find Jose when we've got this whole list of names here? I want you to see quickly how quickly I can find this. By hitting Control F, that's a shortcut so that we can find Jose's name. So I'm going to hit Jose, and I'm just saying find Jose here. Hit find, and you'll notice that there was movement in the spreadsheet, and now down here, highlighted in blue, I've got Jose's name. So I'm going to scroll down there. Okay, I'm going to hit done, get rid of that pop-up window. Now I've got Jose's name. All I have to do is at risk of being retained. I need to hit yes here. So I'm just going to type over the no, type yes, because he is in fact at risk of being retained. Okay, now I'm going through my data, and I also notice when we talk about number sense now, I have a couple of students that I need to mark as an area of concern. So I'm going to go back to the top of my spreadsheet here, and I'm looking at number sense, and I know that Alondra is one of them. So I can, if I know Alondra's last name, which is Calderon, I can just quickly go down here and find it like this and hit area of concern. Again, consult with your principal or with the guide for your site. Some sites are doing the full word here. Some are doing just the abbreviations. So it's just up to how your site decided to do this. We just want to make sure it's uniform throughout the site. So now we've got Alondra as an area of concern for number sense. All right, so I could do the same thing again, trying to find my other students that may have issues. For example, Control F. One last time, I'm going to find Diego. I have a Diego. There he is, Diego Hernandez. We're going to say Diego Hernandez, unfortunately, because of attendance issues, he is at risk of being retained because of his performance in class. Again, that's our other criteria that we can use. And so we're going to just type over this and say area of concern. Okay. Essentially, once this is done, I am done with my progress reports. It's that simple. It's that quick. Okay. We do have the chance of, honestly, I'm in a mommy's space here, and I could accidentally hit oh no, and then I just realized I entered a grade for a Hassler who I don't even have. You can hit undo up here. That will take off that whole row. You can also go into revision history. Okay, and you can look at all the marks that have been made along the way and always revert back to something there that you may have done by accident. Even if it's at a later time, like you log off and you log back on, you can still get to that. So I'm hoping that this video has helped a little bit, and then I would just have to go into my 5th and 6th grade, as well as going into lifelong learning standards, which I believe that the sites have kind of talked about. For example, I started testing this out, and if I had, if Alondra was struggling, maybe she's a little bit too social in class, most sites are just simply typing the teacher's last name in there, and that lets you know that it's an area of concern, so that parents can follow up later. So I'm hoping this document helps solve maybe some of the problems or questions that people had. After hours and hours of working different solutions, I really do think this is going to be the easiest way to get the progress reports done when we are in the 21st century sharing students, and even the progress reports are now needing to be collaborative. I'm hoping this helps. Please let me know what you think. Thank you.